Elon isn't worried about you or me. Our Congress members are thieves. You don't think the government knows everything about you? They do. But we are chump change. We are $37 trillion in debt. Well, I don't believe we are, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't care, frankly, if it was Mickey Mouse. He's lifting the veil. Oh, Elon's doing no such thing. What Elon is doing is he is protecting his investment. See, it's not along with him, but the other tech bros, these data centers that are hurting farmers, that are hurting small towns. Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, he's getting a big tax break. Yeah, because the only thing Elon's ever going to care about is Elon. But you keep praising him while I tell you this story. I feel so bad for these farmers. I really do. The central Ohio city of New Albany has become a focal point on the state's data center boom, with over 100 facilities in the region powering everything from tech support to data storage for Meta, Google, and Amazon, just to name a few. Demand seems unlikely to slow, and as data centers continue to spring up, so too does the infrastructure to support them, like high voltage transmission lines. Yeah, I did videos about this. First of all, this is why California experienced rolling blackouts and water problems, okay? It is because these data centers, because it's to power AI, need millions and millions and millions of gallons of water. So it ends up restricting electricity for the residents. It raises the electricity prices for the residents, and it hurts the water supply for the residents. It only serves the tech bros. It's not like the tech bros, and that includes big Elon, your hero, give a shit about our farmers. Not like they ever have. It's not like the lines you see behind your house or the power lines you might see in your neighborhood. These are humongous. They are the amount of space. It's just, and here's the thing. I said that when people were saying this is going to provide jobs, no, it doesn't. It's just a data center. They don't need to employ many people. So this project will employ 50 workers over 2 years. 50. That's it. 50 workers. Fraser wrote about two particular high voltage lines for a story published by both Switchyard magazine and the Food and Environment Reporting Network. In it, she looked at how the 13-mile corridor for the lines cuts across farmland and affects communities, as well as the secretive process through which the state incentivized the data center booms. Yeah, so the tech bros, they do everything secretive, but you think that Elon's lifting the veil. Okay, sure he is. But they do that every town they go to. When they buy this, they give these politicians and the township like millions of dollars, and it's like too good of a deal to be true. But then what it hurts is all of the residents. In the plainest terms, they're just building, but they're kind of monstrosities in a lot of ways. Where I live in central Ohio, there has just been a massive boom in data center development in a town called New Albany, which is north of Columbus. Data centers require immense amount of electricity to run, and so much of what sort of comprises these buildings is wires and network connections, and electrical equipment. There's a bit of a battle over some of the new transmission lines, about 13 miles long, two different lines that are going to be running from a city that used to be a small farm town north of New Albany, all the way to just on the outskirts of residential areas of New Albany. It's not like the lines you see behind your house or the lines you might see in your neighborhood. I mean, the trunk of these things are as big as a sequoia. They are just massive. I did hear, so I had heard rumors that these things crackle. Yeah, because they're so loud. And I had been doing some reporting among some farmers that are sort of right in the bullseye of where these things are going to run through, and talked to a lot of residents who live around these areas about what it's like, and it's quite eerie. I stood under them. You just feel this crackle and this slight hum. It's very unnerving. It's a very unnerving feeling to be underneath them. The area between has always been a very rural area. A lot of farmers have been feeling powerless to this development that's happened, and not only has it had an influence on the cost of farmland, but it's also influenced people who moved to this area because they were trying to escape this sort of sprawling development that's happening both with Columbus and around New Albany, where a lot of the big tech development has unfolded. Well, we've seen a massive increase in the price of farmland, which has made farming almost impossible for families who have farmed for generations. We've also seen very little public benefit to these development of these data centers. The deals that have been made have all been negotiated by Jobs Ohio. Yeah, it's always made like with the township, and then they already have who they're going to give the jobs to. It's such a damn bullshit racket. Which is the privatized arm of the Jobs Ohio, which is the privatized arm of the economic development in Ohio. And I think that's left a lot of local people feeling powerless before this massive expansion of big tech infrastructure in the middle of America. Ohio is giving tech companies generous tax breaks, often amounting to millions more than the corporations are planning to invest toward Ohio workers. Ohio's Silicon Heartland has brought in billions of dollars in investments from major names in the tech industry, but a new report from Policy Matters Ohio, a nonprofit state policy research institute, calls the state's investment back into these companies into question. The report alleges these generous tax breaks for large corporations will harm Ohioans, will harm the people, especially when compared to the number of jobs companies will create and the resources they will use. They call this an urgent matter, too. It is. It drives up the electrical rates for Ohioans and threatens progress. Why do we want to provide massive subsidies to some of the wealthiest corporations when the results could be higher costs for the very residents and small businesses? Yeah, it's a disgrace, not to mention how loud it is. So, but you know what? You just keep praising Elon because, Elon is just so much about humanity. Sure he is.